The budget has a total revenues of our community, I feel, has gotten busier over the past several years. We're continuing to provide services based on existing personnel. So that's really important, which is going to allow us to put any increase in revenues that we receive towards some other projects for the community. So with that being said, I'll stand for any questions. The health insurance for the town came back at, I believe, a 5% increase. We're going to receive about a $30,000 refund, being that we're in a semi-self-insured plan. And so we're going to utilize that to cover the increases, that refund. So there'll be zero increase to the health insurance. And that's really the highlights in the budget for the fiscal year. You have a budget ordinance that has a balanced budget of, as I said before, $11 million. And I'll stand for any questions you may have. I appreciate the Finance Department's efforts in putting this in all the department heads this year, the town council. We had some pretty large decisions to be made moving forward into this current budget year, and we were able to do so with no increase in taxes to the residents. So I appreciate the staff for continuing to be fiscally responsible, and the town council. We continue to have strong reserves, money saved up for projects, and the town continues to be on a good financial path. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Andy. Before we go to any questions, Lynn, do we have a problem with programming?
I believe it has been worked out. There was some problem with audio.
Okay.
Not the visual.
Okay, so we're good now?
I think so, yes.
We sure about that?
Well,
Sure she can be.
I can go ask, here we go.
Apologize, folks. We just want to make sure everything's being covered.
Got a thumbs up.
We're good. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Councilor, any questions for Andy on this year's budget? I agree that Liliana's staff, everybody's done a great job on this year's budget. Andy, as usual, you've done a great job, and we appreciate what you're doing. You make things easier for us when you do it like this. So, any questions at all, council? Any comments? Very good. Very good. Thank you, Andy. Do you need a motion for that?
Yes.
All right, council need a motion to accept fiscal year 22-23 budget.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by David, second.
Second.
Second by Lynn McLean. All in favor? Aye. Great job, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, guys.
Item 7B, Rob, the land use plan.
So in 2005, the town adopted its current 2003, 2004 CAMA Core Land Use Plan. The town has used that as its guiding document for land use and development decisions since then. The 160D state legislature that went into effect last year requires that all land use plans or comprehensive plans be reasonably maintained. They don't have a specific definition for what reasonably maintained means, but the guidance I've gotten from the School of Government, they're saying every 5 to 10 years we should review or update the land use plan. So the purpose of this is just to provide town council a recommendation to reaffirm the existing CAMA land use plan as valid until such a time where a fully updated land use plan is ready to be presented to the planning board, town council, and submitted to the Coastal Resource Commission for their review and approval. We are looking to get that ball rolling pretty shortly here. I'm going to put together a RFQ or RFP to have ready for council to look at before the next meeting, so we can have a third-party consultant come in and help us do that. Just because of the our staff size, we're kind of limited in the ability to do a full update on our own there. Just to be clear for this, there's no changes being proposed. Any updates or revisions will be included in the full review and update that will be getting kicked off in the next couple of months here, hopefully. Within a year or so, I have something in front of you. In discussion with the town attorney, as we're getting ready for this, it does, because council is looking at and approving this this motion, if they decide to, it would constitute the current plan as being reasonably maintained, even though there's no changes being made to it. I will note just one typo in the recommended motion that I've prepared for you. If you remove recommend, change that to move to adopt, and it'll cover it. That's really all I've got. If there's any questions for me from council.
Any questions for Rob, council, on the land use plan? All right, with that being said, I move to adopt the existing 2004 CAMA Core Land Use Plan update to be the valid comprehensive plan for the town of Kitty Hawk until such a time that the fully updated CAMA Core Land Use Plan is presented to this council. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Lynn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Rob. Okay, council, we need to schedule some public hearings. Public hearing for special uses, text amendment 42-250 BC1. Can I get a motion under item 8A?
Mr. Mayor, I move to set a public hearing at the town council meeting on July 5th, 2022, to consider the proposed text amendment to section 42-250 to allow tattoo studios as a special use in the BC1 district.
Motion made by Lynn, second.
Second.
Second by David. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, item 8B, we need to schedule a public hearing, 3608 North Croatan Highway, special permit for tattoo studios. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to set a public hearing at the town council meeting on July 5th to consider a special use permit application to allow a tattoo studio at 3608 North Croatan Highway.
Thank you, Jeff. Need a second.
Second.
Second by David. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. That brings us to new business.
Mayor, if I may, just occurred to me through talks with Lynn. On item 7, A and B, public hearings, we did not go into public hearing.
Correct.
So we do need to go into public hearing. So my suggestion to the board would be to move to go into public hearing, and then at that point, invite public comment if no one speaks up, or comment at the hearing. If no one speaks up, make a motion to adopt your findings and conclusions in the public hearings.
Very good. Thank you for keeping us straight, Casey and Lynn. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to item 7A, public hearing on the fiscal year 22-23 budget. Can I get a motion to go into public hearing?
Motion.
All right, we'll say it's David.
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, we're in public hearing, fiscal year 22-23 budget. Any more questions under public hearing for Andy? Okay, need a motion to go out of public hearing on this matter.
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Can we go along with the same motion that was prepared before?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Item 7B, need a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Second by Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're in no public hearing for the land use plan. Any questions? Okay, need a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
So moved. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we're going with the same motion to adopt the 2004 Cameron Land Use Plan, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Thank you, Mayor.
We're good?
Good to go.
Thank you, everybody. That was my mistake. Okay, new business, appointments to the town boards and committees. Need a motion, looks like we've got to make some appointments or reappointments to our planning board. Brian Parker, Dusty Rhodes, and Blair Meads have all said they would like to be considered for reappointment. Can I get a motion?
Motion to reappoint.
Can we do all three at once?
Yep. Can we do that,
Second.
Lynn?
I didn't hear him quite, what did he say?
Can we do all three at once?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I'll second.
Second by Jeff. Any more nominations?
No, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, Board of Adjustment, we have 3 terms expiring in June also. Timothy Fish, Abby Berquist. Yeah, let's go back up. John Richardson is currently the chair. We need to nominate the chair and vice chair again for that committee.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint John Richardson to serve as chair and Brian Parker to serve as vice chair of the planning board for a 1-year term.
Very good.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Second by Lynn and Charlotte.
No.
Good. Any more nominations for chair and vice chair? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Board of Adjustment. Timothy Fish, Abby Berquist, and William Yetzer as alternate. All have said they would like to be reappointed. I need a motion.
Motion to reappoint.
Motion to reappoint. Is
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Recreation Committee, we have 2 terms expiring. Paul Henriquez and our good friend, Mr. Tom Hefter, who will not be seeking reappointment to the board. Lynn, I was hoping Tom would be here tonight. Would you please tell Tom how much this council appreciates his serving on that committee
I will
for
pass
so
it
long?
on.
He is a dedicated member who doesn't mind speaking up and says what he's got on his mind. That's what I like.
He never has minded speaking his mind.
But please thank him for us. Okay, let's go with the first one for the reappointment.
Make a motion to reappoint,
Paul Henriquez?
Paul, I'm
Okay.
sorry, Paul Henriquez.
Okay. Recreation Committee with term of office to expire June 30, 2026. Any more nominations? Can I get a second to that nomination?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we need to make an appointment to fill Tom Hefner's seat on the Recreation Committee.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Peter Mance for this position.
I'll second that.
Very good. Seconded by Jeff. Any more nominations? Okay, all in favor of Peter Mance, the Recreation Committee with a term of office to expire June 30, 2026.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Very good. Thank you, Council. Very good. All right, Mr. Andy, how about an update on the new police station, EMS station?
Just a brief update is all I have this evening. The town is about at 50% complete with construction documents. We're right up about 40, 45, close to that, not quite 50% yet. We have received some preliminary estimates from the construction manager, Whiting Turner, and we'll discuss those tonight at the closed session in more detail. But the project is, as far as the design and everything, continues to remain on schedule. And we'll talk about more in the details at our closed session meeting.
Thank you, Andy. Any questions for Andy? Any comments?
No, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Andy. Okay, reports from comments from town manager.
Not much to report, other than like to thank the staff there we received over, just on this agenda here, $158,000 in grant funding. One for the stream rehabilitation assistance program, which is where we go in and clean our ditches and remove vegetative debris that's fallen into the canals and cut it away from the canals, which helps clean and keep our canals clean. And then we've also received a $3,000 grant from the North Carolina League of Municipalities that we'll be using to purchase knee and elbow protectors and gear bags for our police officers. So we always like free money, and I think our staff has done a good job at trying to do what we can with any available grant funding that is available to us. So that being said, that's all I have. There's a Monday morning with the mayor next Monday at 9. I'm sure, I think he was going to invite a council member to each of these. And I'm kind of just going to give an opportunity for any business owners and residents that want to come and get a presentation on things that are going on in the town outside of a formal meeting. So we have done some presentations for Rotary and things like that, and the mayor will participate in that as well, and then a council member for each of those meetings. So that's next Monday at 9 a.m., correct?
Show up, folks, and nothing else, you get free coffee and bagels, so show up. And
So it's more of a community, it's kind of a community outreach
Yeah.
thing that we're trying to do.
while we're on that, we obviously, because of the meeting laws, I can only invite one council member. I have invited Jeff to meet me here next Monday, the next quarterly meeting, and I'll be contacting Charlotte if you would like to join in. I appreciate it, and then we'll go this way. So we'll see what happens, see who shows up, if anybody. If not, we'll drink coffee. Thank you, Andy. Town attorney.
Mayor, I've got nothing. Thank you.
All right. Council, real quick, I've got just a couple of things. Rob, I've noticed a few food trucks sitting around here and there. I know we've got an ordinance. Could you take a look just to make sure we're up to date? If you need to bring anything back to council at a later date, feel free to do that. Just want to make sure we're good to go on that.
Sure.
If you
I
don't
can
mind.
give a quick rundown. if you
That'd be
want.
wonderful, yes.
So historically, the town has our ordinance prohibits sales of goods or merchandise or whatever from rights of way or parking lots at abut public right of ways or private right of ways. The town has interpreted in the past to allow the owner of a commercial brick and mortar location to set up a food truck or a vendor site if they own that food truck or vendor as well as their commercial use. Recently I got looking at some other towns and found that a few years ago Carolina Beach enacted an ordinance that pretty much codified the way we had been interpreting it and was pretty quickly sued by some of the local food truck owners, and they removed it from their ordinance before going to court. I have talked to Casey about it to just see how that kind of jives with what we've been doing, and I think the opinion that we've come up with is the best way to address it would be either to enforce the ordinance as it's written, so regardless of if the owner owns the commercial use and the mobile vendor, they wouldn't be able to do the mobile side of it, or to direct staff to draft language that would allow and regulate that type of use. It's kind of up to council which way we go with it, and happy to do either one.
Council, I'm okay with tonight, we're just letting Rob take a look at it, see if anything at all needs to be done. What are your thoughts?
I'd like to speak on it.
Yes, please.
I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
it. I mean, if the restaurant owner wants to utilize a food truck in their property and it takes some pressure off the staff in the kitchens and everywhere else, and it's their stuff, I'd personally say, hey, go for it.
David, if it wasn't, what would be your thoughts?
What do you mean if it wasn't?
If it were a separately owned vendor on site?
I think it drives competition, keeps everybody.
So just hypothetically, if a commercial establishment wants to contract with some vendor that they have no ownership of, or it's not equivalent to, the way in which they own their business, you'd be okay with them bringing outside vendors on?
Yeah, because we deal with it on the county level. We've dealt with it on the county level, and we have noticed on the county level that when we have dealt with this particular issue, it works itself out.
Okay. I'm just trying to get thoughts so we can,
And
Rob and I can talk moving forward.
And I may be in a minority on that.
Because
but-
if that's the case, we're gonna need to redo our ordinance.
Correct. That's correct. If that's the way, right. And that's part of the reason I was asking.
Right.
Exactly
We're gonna
that.
need to reword what we, go ahead.
Well, my thing is I kind of like David, if your restaurant has the room and they're not open at that time of day, but they just want to have tacos out there and it's their business and their food truck, that doesn't really bother me. But it would bother me that if a whole separate business set up.
And that was what I was asking.
The whole separate business set up out of, it's happening in another town, so, and say they set up a yard sale, for instance, in the parking lot, and I don't really see how the town can receive any money from this whatsoever, sales tax, or I just don't know where the business, I understand, but I'm not sure, maybe you could help me if you have a vendor out in the parking lot of business, how does the town end up taxed and all that? I mean, it's almost like a free business, tax-free.
Well, I suppose they'd still have to come get any licensure they needed, correct, Rob?
I haven't really looked detailed at putting any kind of language together, but if the town wanted to permit it and regulate it, put some language together that they'd have to come get, some type of a permit from the town where we would see, where they're located, probably charge, whatever fee for them for an annual fee. So I haven't tracked anything up, so I'm just kind of.
The reason I brought it up is the same business that the town of another town, they are setting up in Kitty Hawk. I mean, they're using one of our local businesses, and they set up the facility there. And I'm interested to see how Kill Devil Hills and all of that. It's it's a pretty hot topic. Of course it's just local artists trying to sell some stuff in the parking lot. I mean, and I don't blame them, but it's an ordinance is it's just. To me, if somebody's selling I'm just going to use surfboards, and they just come from another town and set up in a parking lot and sell them, to me, I feel like they're competing against Whalebone, everybody else that's in the business down here that's actually paying town taxes, operating a concrete building. And, it just seems like a way of undermining our local established businesses.
Well, and to be clear, I don't disagree with Jeff. I mean, as long as it's not just somebody coming in and setting up shop and the town gets nothing out of it, that I'm not okay with. But if they're able to do it properly and follow the guidelines, I don't have a problem with it.
So council, sounds like we've got some good ideas and different ideas here. Would you like Rob to make a presentation for us at a future council meeting, Rob?
Sure.
So we'll know what we're doing and.
And you gotta look at
And we can address legalities and stuff. Since Rob did bring that up, I'll give you my thoughts on that, and that can just be kind of part of the decision that you guys make at a later
Think you
date.
can do it for the next meeting, Rob? Yeah. If not, we'll go to August.
No, I should be able to.
Okay.
And not that we're
Thank you,
Dare
Rob.
County, we're part of Dare County, but I would say to go back and look at all the ordinances we created on the county level in the last couple of years as kind of a footprint.
Yeah.
Because we're allowing it, but we are regulating it.
Sure.
How does the health department, do they license them? Do they come in and inspect?
I'll have to check with them. I don't know off the top of my head.
They do.
They do?
I would think they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think they should, whether they do.
They absolutely do.
Okay, good.
I have seen,
Perfect.
not here, but I have seen other food trucks that display whatever health department, wherever they're from, has blessed their food truck.
I mean,
And most health departments are pretty standard on what's acceptable and what's not. So if it's good enough in Virginia Beach, then it's good enough in Kitty Hawk.
you basically can't serve anything outside of a packaged pretzel without the health department.
Okay. I just,
Going in and making sure it's safe and the temperatures of the, everything's being kept. You know what I mean? Like,
I know that's where it should be, so.
yeah, well, that's why I
Wanna
say,
make
those
sure
that
it
aren't
is.
doing it, that'll work itself out. That truck will move. And that's the other thing that we talked about, not to hold us up tonight on it, but I would just look at what we did on the county level as a,
Very good, very good. Thank you, Rob. And also, I've got one more thing. Yesterday, our Kitty Hawk Police Department, and David showed up in time to eat a hot dog, held a youth fishing tournament at the Kitty Hawk Pier. It was wonderful. They did an outstanding job. I showed up, and the first thing they did was assign me a job of cooking the hot dog. So I cooked your hot dog there. Officers were handing out stickers. They had door prizes. They were helping kids bring in the fish, measure them. It was just a wonderful event, and our kind of spearheaded by Officer Caleb Macon, who always does it. He did a wonderful job. Thanks to the entire police department for working on that project. It was great. Good time. Good time. And that's all I have. Charlotte?
well, I'm moving forward on the museum. We're getting closer every day, and I have been able to send in 8 of the 9 resolutions that I requested. I'm wishing I had 9 out of 9, but that's okay. And it has truly been an honor to work on this and try to bring this to Kitty Hawk. And I thank you for the confidence that you've had in me to take this project on. So we've sent it in to the Department of Transportation, and the maps and the pictures and the video and everything they've requested. And so it's in their hands. So we'll see what they say.
You're doing a wonderful job, Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. Anything else? Charlotte?
Nope.
Anything? Okay, Jeff?
All right, our summer season's here. Chief Talley invited us over to the fire department to welcome our lifeguards for the season. We had an excellent cookout, and I'd like to thank everybody that participated and helped cook the great food. It was unbelievable. But anyway, and I'm glad that our lifeguards are here. I'm sorry they started out on a bad week. They've had some rough weather, but I hope they have a safe summer. Also, I'd like to thank Willie for getting us another grant to keep our waterways cleaned out. Willie's been doing this for us for a while now, and it helps where we have trees that fall in our waterways, and this keeps them safe for our visitors. And one of our main canals is the boat ramp in the county boat ramp off of off Bob Perry, and it's in constant need from time to time of maintenance. So thank you, Willie, for doing that. And that's all.
And I've got one thing you reminded me. Chief Talley had some friends in town a couple of Sundays ago, and I wanted to see a fire truck. So I texted Chief Talley and took him to the fire station. They were waiting for us. They were excited. Free fire helmets for the kids. Got to take pictures standing on the fire truck with the red lights on. T-shirts. And your staff was very, very positive. The kids loved it. The kids, when they got back to where they were staying, they had on their little fire helmets. So it was very good. But thank you again, Chief.
Did you hand out an application?
They live in Virginia right now, so. All right. Okay, Lynn?
I have nothing except that there's traffic out there
Yeah.
and tons of people in the stores. Be safe, everyone.
Be safe. Dave?
well, going to last sometimes. You only get to say half of what you're going to say. But no, I really want to give my compliments to all the staff, firefighters, police officers. I mean, they've got their hands full out there. I mean, it's a little bit, it seems like it comes earlier every year, and I can't thank all you guys enough for what you do. I seem like I've heard a lot more fire trucks in the last week than I felt like I heard all last year. And of course, the fishing tournament was, the hot dog was good, but I do appreciate, I think it's a great thing that the police department is doing for kids. And I think it's a great outreach. And it shows that there's more going on than, I just appreciate it.
Yep.
So, and I did have one question though. Is the new fire truck on the way yet, or do we have it?
It's only August.
August.
Of this year, right?
Yes.
I mean, you never know anymore, right?
Okay, very good.
I have one more thing, Mr. Mayor. We reappointed some people tonight, and in saying that, Tom, that's been on this recreation committee, and also to every town council meeting that I've ever been to. I served with Tom on the board, and Charlotte has. You'll never find anybody more dedicated and loved Kitty Hawk and looked out for the people in the recreation needs. If you go to Sandy Run, there's been changes made there over the years, and we can thank Tom. Tom would notice something that wasn't being used, and he would bring it to our attention and suggest things that would probably suit that place better, and most of them are in place and being well used. And please tell Tom, thank you very much for his service to the town of Kitty Hawk. We're going to miss him. He's going to be hard to replace. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay.
It was a hard decision for him, but
I know it is.
he has some health issues, and he said it's time to get the young blood working on the same things. I was pleasantly surprised when the man with no children and no acquaintances who are children decided that he had to have a playground at Sandy Run Park.
He did a good job.
He sees the need, and he decides that even if it is something he's personally going to do, he's going to make sure it's available for everybody else. But I will pass it on to him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Jeff. Anything else, council? Okay, council, I'm going to make a motion that this council goes into closed session pursuant to statute 143-318.11A5. For those watching and those here, first of all, I need a second to that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will not be coming back after closed session. We will not have any more business for those that are here and those that are watching at home. We will come straight back for adjournment. So with that being said, thank you, everyone, and we need to clear the room.